We have our takeaways from VGK's efforts in the two games over the weekend, plus our preview of tonight's third game in 4 nights as the very hot Montreal Canadiens visit the Fortress. Welcome to another edition of Locked On Golden Knights.
Your Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast, and please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by the Gametime app. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So, Chris, we've got some takeaways from Friday's 4-3 overtime loss first to the Flyers.
Feels like so long ago.
It surely does. And Saturday's 4-3 shootout win in LA. Well, against Philadelphia, it was, I said takeaways?
Chicago.
Against Chicago, it is a long time ago. I said takeaways, it should be giveaways. There were 14 of them in that game.
That's good.
William Karlsson had a goal and a game-deciding penalty that put the Flyers on the power play. That's when they score. Shea Theodore scored a goal, but had a couple of turnovers at least, including one that led to Tyler Radish's goal and made it 3-2. Cassidy was very short in his post-game presser. He even kind of shoot you off for a little bit. I thought you two were buddies. VGK mismanaged the puck. End of story there. And it was against Chicago. And he said that we did not execute at an NHL level.
No, I mean, listen, there's a few ways to look at this right now. The recent games against LA, Chicago, Philly, Chicago. Golden Knights haven't had necessarily a solid 60-minute continuous efforts in any of those games. That said, the Golden Knights have all but 1 point in those games. So this got me thinking a little bit. If you remember last season, Tony, it was either against like the Jets or the Coyotes. It was like a weird Tuesday or Thursday game. Things were going okay for the Golden Knights as a whole. But I put a tweet out there that said something just doesn't seem right at the moment. This team is not right. It wasn't long after that when things started to go just a little bit sideways. So, yes, everything is going well right now, and fans, podcasters, writers, we should all be happy about that. And I am happy about it. I mean, geez, 17 points, 17 of an 18 possible points. Stanley Cup hangover doesn't exist right now. It's awesome. But if November is a little bit of a tougher month, then we can look back to this past week and say this was kind of where things started to go a little bit off the rails. And it's okay. It's an 82-game season. It's a short summer. Like, there's so many things that at some point will come back to slow this team down. The Golden Knights aren't going to earn 157 of a possible 164 points or however the math works out to be. So it's just about how the team responds. William Karlsson in the postgame on Friday, I kind of teed him up for it, but I said, hey, is it kind of a glass is half full type of approach after this game? You got points in all the games, blah, blah, blah. And he gave a nice smile and said, yeah, we're just going to focus on the next game. And then kind of gave me a nice little smile. And that was the end of it. So, it shows the team's heads are in the right place. And a response, I mean, it's a 4-game week, right? It's Montreal, Winnipeg, Colorado, and then they go back-to-back against the Ducks on Sunday. So let's see what happens this week. This will be an important week for the Golden Knights.
Rigged. Karlsson, if you're going to have a stretch where you play 3 out of 4 games, okay, you're playing 2 of those games at home. One, you have an edge because you play a matinee compared to the Kings playing a nighttime game. And then you go down the road, right? 2 out of 3 at home. You go down the road to the LA Kings, right? William Karlsson, 10 points. Shea Theodore, points now in 5 consecutive games. So 10 points, including 3 goals.
Shea Theodore Norris candidate. I said it over the summer. I'm saying it now.
Okay, we've got Pavel Dorofeyev became the 17th player on VGK's roster to score a goal this past weekend. That's great news. It's the most of any team in the NHL. A question, though, too. Why was Jonas Ronbjorg called up on Saturday?
Well, so a few things here. One, he played in Henderson on Sunday. So that's the first thing. Did Ronbjorg even make the trip
Did
to
he get on
Vegas
the
or to
plane?
LA?
No,
I don't know.
no,
I don't know.
doesn't
I don't know if he
sound
was
like
there
it.
for
Yeah,
warm-ups. Who knows? I mean, it's LA. It's a short trip to fly him out and fly him back if that's really
it would have been a back-to-back for him,
it would be a triple, right?
basically.
Because the Silver Knights played on
Oh,
Friday, also
triple,
technically speaking. So a triple header, Tony. It's really rigged now. There's a couple
back-to-back.
things there. Could there have been, pardon me, could there have been some type of salary cap roulette happening where you activate a player and in some way, somehow this saves the team a couple of dollars down the road? I have no idea how that works. That's for someone smarter than me at this world to figure all that stuff out. Could there have been a player, Sinbin pointed this one out, could there have been a player that was questionable, that was maybe a little bit dinged up, and they just wanted to have that insurance available? That's another option too. Um, I don't know. I don't even know if he was in LA. Like, I didn't see the warmups. I didn't watch that part of the game. But it sounds like it was maybe for insurance just in case. I mean, if Ronbjorg isn't there, the Golden Knights don't have an extra forward available if someone were to fall in warmups. I mean, these things do happen. Someone gets a cramp between warmups and the game starts, and all of a sudden, it would be really silly if the Golden Knights had to go with 11 forwards because they didn't activate someone and send someone to LA. I don't know.
Saturday's game, Amadio, Carrier, Stone, all scoring in regulation. The shootout belonged to LT as he stopped Trevor Moore, Pierre-Luc Dubois, and Kevin Fiala. And Jack Eichel with the game winner on his birthday. Was that officially his birthday? I know it's a week-long, month-long celebration. I think it was his birthday on
Jack Eichel
Saturday.
made sure to tell me Thursday was not his birthday when I was messing with him about his birthday wish.
You know who's on a mission for the Kings? Drew Doughty. Drew Doughty. I watched the game against the Arizona team there the night before, and on Friday night they had a great shift in Arizona late in the game, with about a minute 5 to go. He's at the point. He hits the crossbar, cycles around. He drives to the net, and he's stopped. And then they still keep possession of the puck. And then he goes back to the point, and then he goes, I think it was off the post and in. It just showed me a lot of effort. And then late in the game on Saturday night, he came through with the equalizer there at about the same time. I think it was a minute 5. And for VGK, Mark Stone with a nice goal. And that was good to see him get untracked in that game on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Stone been quiet, and we've been a little, wondering if something's up with him and everything. But his quiet start, 9 games, 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. So, I mean, we're not going to
Not so
overthink
quiet.
Mark
Yeah.
Stone. Yeah, no, it's not quiet at all. Reviewing points, so William Karlsson and Theodore tied with 10 apiece right now. Eichel, 9 points, 9 games. So, I mean, it's, more scoring, it seems like. And it's been a fun, interesting start so far, and we'll see how it continues. You mentioned Drew Doughty earlier. Paul Cotter just labeled him. They failed, I think it was a 3-on-1 or something in the LA game, and Doughty was chirping the ref. Oh, he was chirping him hard, and Cotter was just kind of laughing as he skated away.
Well, we did see Hague versus England, and it was not a split decision like Fury and Ngannou. I think it was one-sided, and we finally saw that elite
Hague got
fighter
bored.
come out.
Hague got bored that fight. Like, Hague just was planting him early. And he's like, "Okay, I beat the crap out of you. Like, you can throw a couple punches." It was like a gentleman's sweep, but whatever the fighting version of that would be.
Okay, so what are you writing for Vegas Hockey Now for today?
I just put something out there. So, flashback of Ganny Dadonov, guys. Dadonov, in my opinion, is the ultimate golden misfits because he gets traded to the team that takes on all the misfits, right? The Golden Knights try and send him away in the 21-22 season. The deal gets voided, so he comes back to the misfit organization that didn't want the misfits. So just an absolute mess. The question is, who screwed up in that circumstance? And the NHL, per Elliot Friedman, is ready to rule that the Ottawa Senators are at fault of the botched trade between the Anaheim Ducks and the Vegas Golden Knights. The deal was the Golden Knights were going to send a second round pick in Donoff in exchange for like Ryan Kessler's contract and John Moore, something like that, whatever. So my question is, first of all, Ottawa is going to receive punishment. So two questions. One, what is going to be the Senators' punishment for screwing this one up and hurting the Golden Knights season, not giving the Golden Knights a chance to maybe activate Riley Smith, right? That was something we talked about in that season. Riley Smith may be ready to come back. They trade the Donoff away. The Donoff has to stay, so there's no room on the salary cap to get Riley Smith active again. The second part of that is, will the Golden Knights receive any type of compensation in this from Ottawa, maybe in form of a mid-round draft pick? I don't know.
Coming up next, we have a preview of the VGK Montreal game tonight at T-Mobile Arena. Stay with us as we continue right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Gametime is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with each and every purchase. Gametime has deals on tickets right up until the start of the event. Even an hour after it starts, it's the place to find your last-minute seats, VGK fans. And they have something called zone deals. You pick the section, and Gametime will pick the seats for an average of 18% savings. And the Gametime guarantee means that you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, then Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back. Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. We appreciate you doing so. And on Fridays, WTF, What the Friday comes
We
your
already
way.
got a nice long WTF today, Tony, with your microphone.
Oh, my goodness. My computer issues, man. I got to tell you. Thank you so much to Dan.
It almost happened again. We almost had this happen again.
Thank you very much for. He went in remote wise and fiddle faddled with some things, and luckily he was awake early this morning. So thank you, Dan. Most of the audience probably, Chris, will not get this, but Peter Puck is back. This is before your time, dude.
Who's Peter Puck? Who was that?
Whoa. You don't know Peter Puck.
No, it's not a Thunder
Legendary
mascot, because that Thunder mascot is the panda.
This is the old cartoon on NBC, I think, back in the day. A cartoon Puck, actually, that you should YouTube it. And maybe for little Chris, too, and for kids, it teaches them with these cartoons, it teaches them all of the rules of the game of hockey. 50 years ago, it's coming back, teaching new fans the game. And they had like the Runaway Zamboni, really cool. And they have some updated merch, and they should bring it back, I think, on TV. It was really a cool feature.
It seems pretty cool.
I can't believe it was that long ago. Peter Puck. So Google Peter Puck, and there's some really good videos, I'm sure, out there.
So you guys, you learn something new every day with this show.
Yeah, I'm not a hockey guy, though. I don't know anything about hockey. Okay, so everything's rigged in life, and I know nothing about hockey. Okay, surprising. Had to get you. Surprising Montreal Canadiens 5-2-1 come to T-Mobile Arena tonight. The Golden Knights are playing their third game in 4 days, albeit 2 games at home, 1 down the road in Los Angeles. So the Habs come in off of they come back from 2 games where they win. The last one, they beat Larry Brossoit even. Wow, this team is on fire. They came back from a 2-goal deficit, Chris, and they won 4-3 in a shootout on Saturday night against Winnipeg. Martin St. Louis has his team playing with a lot of confidence, despite some really big injuries. You have Kirby Dach is out. He's out for the season. That knee injury, we've talked about that on the show before. Christian Dvorak is still out. Defenseman David Savard fractured hand, out 6 to 8 weeks. And seriously, this is a team, though, to watch out for because of all of the young talent. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about Savard real fast. Against Buffalo, he blocked a number of shots, including one that took out his skate blade,
I
and
saw
then
that. That
another
was
one
awesome.
that took out his hand, fractured his hand. These defensemen in the NHL are by far the toughest. They're the toughest human beings on the planet.
I've
Like
been hit.
Martinez.
Yeah, no, I've been hit with a hockey puck when I ref beer league and stuff, or even just lower level kids games and stuff, like 14 and 16-year-olds. And there's always soft spots on your gear, whether you're wearing ref gear or player's gear, where there's no padding or there's light padding. And when that puck finds one of those spots, the pain is just tremendous. Now you magnify that by an NHL shot at 85 miles an hour, and these clowns are driving head first. Like it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And I think Alec Martinez even made the comment, you got to be, I don't know, probably was not an appropriate word, but describing why he does what he does. So a couple things here on Montreal. I mean, looking up and down this roster, the younger side, Caulfield, Suzuki, Newhook, Raphael Harvey Pinard, pardon me, Justin Barrett, and Caden Gooley. Watch out for Arbor Zeka. That's the guy they call Wi-Fi. And he's the one that fought Ryan Reeves early on. He'll be out there looking to stir it up with anyone who's willing. And I mean, Haig, Colasar, Carrier, take your pick. They'll all be ready just in case. Brett Howden, another one. Kirby Doc out, that stinks. Jordan Harris, another young one. Pizita, Ylonen, Jake Evans, Slavkovsky, Anderson, Kovacevic, Lindstrom. I mean, this is such a good young roster, and you're going to hear from this team. I mean, everyone said this wasn't like the Canadiens were the one team that really everyone kind of dismissed in the Atlantic, not being able to compete this year. Well, they're off to an okay start. They're 5-2-1. Now, maybe a little bit out of Tony's book here. Let's look at who they beat. Okay. This is their first, 8 games, whatever it's been. Lose to Toronto. They beat the Blackhawks, lose to Minnesota, beat Washington. Everyone beats Washington. Beat Buffalo. Everyone beats Buffalo. Lose to New Jersey, beat Columbus, beat Winnipeg. So they haven't won a big game yet. They haven't beat even what I would call a playoff team yet, honestly. Minnesota's playoffs. New Jersey's a playoff team. Toronto's a playoff team. Winnipeg, Buffalo, Washington, and Chicago, all those teams may not be in the playoffs. So it's a good measuring stick game for Montreal. They come in T-Mobile. Again, everyone wants to knock off the Stanley Cup champs. So they will give a good game. We'll see if they can hang for most of the game, though. And I don't know if that's going to be possible or not.
Wondering who we'll see in net. Jake Allen gives Montreal the best chance to win. He's 3-0-1, 2.63 goals against average, 930 save percentage. Sam Montembeault is also there in the mix, and Caden Primo. So they have 3 goaltenders.
Whoever played the last game,
Allen.
They're probably going to get Montembeault. I hope I said that right. Montembeault. Montembeault.
Yeah, Montembeault.
I have no idea. I'm sorry, guys. I'm normally better with names, but 329 goals against, 901 save percentage. Give me the over on the Golden Knights, 3.5 goals.
They have, you mentioned those players, 19-year-old Juraj Slavkovsky. Yeah. 1 assist in 8 games. Things are not clicking. I watch them. You want to talk about turnovers. Holy smokes. That's the line to take advantage of with Newhook and Anderson. Very little chemistry there. Tonight, if you're going to the game, there is a standout defenseman, Caden Gould. Gould, 21 years old. He played against Winnipeg, Chris, 25 minutes and 8 seconds after coming back from an upper body injury. And really cool kid, because I watched him a little bit the other night, and he asked if he could keep his Hockey Night in Canada towel that they gave him after the game.
Dude steals towels.
So
he can't even afford a towel. He steals towels. Who is this kid?
It's very pure with a nice, good 21-year-old kid, but he must have done a ton of cardio to last 25:08, while he was on the shelf with an upper body injury and coming right back from that.
It was definitely the towel that was a higher thread count or something, and it heals better. I'm trying to find on Money Puck okay, here we go. So takeaways from opponent. Where does Montreal land on this? Let's see. All right, Montreal does not do a lot of takeaways. Giveaways. This is the important number right now. Giveaways to opponents. Montreal's 9th in giveaways overall on Money Puck. So we'll see how that factors in. Golden Knights do a good job at taking away the puck, but the Golden Knights also do a lot of giveaways as well. Another article I wrote, I think it was last Thursday, the Golden Knights are winning a lot of high event hockey. What I mean when I say that is you have a lot of scoring chances, a lot of high danger opportunities for both teams throughout the games. But that's okay because of how well Aiden Hill and Logan Thompson are playing. The Golden Knights can afford to take some chances because the defense and the goaltending has been, pretty much superb. I mean, Logan Thompson, 3 goals given up on Saturday against the Kings, but 40 saves. That's an important number. Shuts out the shootouts. Does a little mic drop with the puck as well. And another thing I said on Saturday, and this isn't a bad thing, but Logan Thompson is eating in to the starter's share of the net. Aiden Hill's the starter of this team right now. Cassidy didn't come out and directly say that, but Cassidy did say there is not a 50-50 split for the goalies. We have a plan. Aiden Hill's been the one going in back-to-back circumstances, not like a Tuesday, Wednesday back-to-back, but like if there's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday game, Aiden usually goes Monday and Wednesday, that type of rotation. But not too far from that possibly switching. We'll see.
One of the areas too, Montreal's not been very good, Chris, on the PK. So I think VGK, if they get that man advantage, they could exploit it tonight. Are we doing picks? Are we going to do picks or no? And see if they're going to be able to make it in here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We can always let's go to the third segment. We can always bat lead off with it. We can bat lead off if they're available. If not, we'll just tweet it.
Okay, coming up next, we talk about how weak the Pacific Division is. And as it says there on our slate, will the weak Pacific help or hurt VGK? We'll talk about that next when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Snap into action this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place just a $5 bet. That's $200 in bonus bets, win or lose. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, then there's no better time to get into the action than right now. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, including point spreads, player props, over-unders, and much more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel, the official partner of the National Football League. Welcome back. Locked On Golden Knights, the Monday edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that is Locked On Golden Knights. And we barely made it on the air today. Again, technical issues. My goodness, me and computers we don't jive. We just don't jive. But it did take the engineer from the radio station to come through and actually fix things. So thanks again.
At least they were available.
Funny story. At the radio station, because we had the issues with the computer last week, right? So I go in there. I come to find out that they were all in the break room one day, right? And everyone was having their lunch. A bunch of people in there, and they have a TV in there.
BLTs?
No. What do you think? No BLTs with Foley. What do you think comes on TV? TMZ. And there I was, and they just started cracking up and giving me a hard time. It was funny.
We told our kids yesterday, Chris wants a computer and a laptop because he actually wants to do a podcast with Daddy.
Okay. Now that was amazing, though, that he took all those notes. That is really cool.
He was
game report.
He was so into it. So we watched the game. We stayed up late on Saturday for the Kings game. And all of a sudden he brings down his little wireless keyboard that doesn't work anymore, but I gave it to him. He likes to have it.
It's like my computer.
Exactly, right? And then he gets a piece of paper and he's taking notes. He didn't really tell me what he was doing at first. And then he said he was taking notes for his own little reports. And he set up even like this little like chair in the corner of the couch, and he brought the keyboard over and was like typing during the game and stuff. So that was pretty cool. But where I was actually originally going with when I mentioned my kids, we were trying to explain to the kids because Chris said he wanted a phone also, and we said no. But we explained what a beeper and a pager was back in the day, and the look on Allie's face when I said you call a number, you type in your phone number to get the call back, then you have to go and find a payphone to call the person back. Payphone beeper? What? This makes no sense. So it's yeah. So or in your world, explaining an 8-track to a kid, but yeah, there you
go. And Peter Puck, explaining Peter Puck to a kid.
That was pretty cool.
How bad is the Pacific Division this season? It's really bad. In fact, on Saturday morning, I saw the tweet from Matt Larkin of the Daily Faceoff. So he tweets out Saturday, the Pacific Division, get this, folks, has the 26th, 29th, 30th, 31st, and 32nd ranked teams in the standings. 26, 29, 30, 31st, and 32nd team. So we're talking about the Ducks, the Kraken, big disappointment in the early stages. The Oilers, who actually played well last night outdoors and beat Calgary, but we're also talking about Calgary. We're talking about the Sharks. And I saw your repost last night of our guys from Locked On Sharks, keys to the game. Don't get shut out again. Did I say that?
I wasn't on purpose, but oh my God.
I said Sharks.
Okay, sure you did.
Don't get shut out again. Score at least in the game. Please score. Those are their keys.
I said if Vegas gets to that point, I'm out, guys. I'm out at that point. Like
this is a bad division.
Yeah, I'll just do Locked On Silver Knights or something like that at that point. I mean, the concern. I mean, listen, it's good to bank points no matter the circumstances. Golden Knights are going to have injuries. Going to be a rough patch. Going to be multiple rough patches. That's how NHL hockey goes. Playing bad teams obviously will hopefully help to make those rough patches smaller. Although the Sharks probably get their first win against the Golden Knights of the season, and that's just how that's going to go. The concern now, you look at the Boston Bruins, right? The Boston Bruins didn't have meaningful hockey games from, February, early March. It was a foregone conclusion that the division was theirs. Like if they played probably just, got points in 3 out of a possible 10 points from the month of February on at that type of pace, they probably still win the division. So they weren't playing any meaningful puck. There you go. No meaningful puck for 2 or 3 months. Could the Golden Knights find themselves in the same position? And the answer is possibly. Boston, a vet team, right? You hear this from Cassidy all the time about the Golden Knights. It's a veteran group. I asked Cassidy about the winning streak, which is all my fault because I said the word winning streak. But I asked Cassidy about how do you keep the team grounded? Do you have to change any practice habits? He said, no, veteran group. You don't have to go to explain to Pietrangelo and Martinez and Mark Stone how to prepare for a game. Maybe some of the younger guys, you make sure their practice habits are good, but it's a vet group. Well, the Boston Bruins were a vet group too. Krejci, Bergeron, Pasta, Marchand. He's not a mature person, but he's still a veteran person that's been around for a while. So the concern comes, can they turn it on when the playoff starts? And this is where you got the difference in coaching. You got Montgomery, very experienced behind an NHL bench, but never had led an NHL bench, versus Cassidy, who has been to Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final and lost it on home ice. So you learn something from that. So will the weak Pacific help the Golden Knights? I don't think it's going to help them, but it's not going to hurt them either. I think they're going to be just fine no matter what happens. And Edmonton's going to get a little better. The Kings are going to be a thorn in the Golden Knights' side. They've been a pain in the butt since season 1 as far as just fun games. Vancouver looking okay early on. I mean,
are they sustainable? The Canucks?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe they're figuring out an identity, but I don't know. Tocchet, right? Up there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So maybe that's helping. Anaheim, whatever. Seattle should improve. Edmonton will be heard from. Cal, Gary, and then San Jose moving on.
The Sharks. You call
Sharks.
them Sharks.
Sharks.
Okay. If this division, I feel, remains this way, it's not going to be to the benefit of VGK. It's going to hurt them
That's fair
because of the
also.
strength of schedule. Last year, I felt that what's happening in the Pacific right now is what I thought would occur last year. Remember, I said this division is going to be the worst in hockey, and it turned out to be one of the better divisions. Truly,
The
there
only
come playoff
division that
time.
produced 4 100-point teams.
Right, 4 100-point teams. Think about that. So it's a year later, and they're living up to what my expectations were a season ago.
I mean, that also means the bottom 4 teams absolutely stink too, which is part of why 4 teams got 100 points. Call it what it is.
Right, but now you've got 5 teams that are not very good currently.
You only have one
in
team
NHL.
technically that has a higher. I mean, I guess you can call 4 2-1, but
Has
technically
San
that's
Jose
still
been
4-4.
eliminated yet? Have they been? They're rooting for the number 1 pick, is what they're rooting for.
This
now.
is such a
About it.
bad. Like, I don't know. This is not a rebuild. This is worse than a rebuild. And anyone in San Jose, there's to get that clown writer that always comments about the Golden Knights not building the right way and all that. Well, if the Golden Knights didn't build a team the right way, I don't know what the heck is happening in San Jose right now. All part of the plan, I guess.
Last night we saw Flavor Flav, final note, singing the anthem.
Terrible.
Was that singing? That was pretty
No.
bad. I think
Take
he
off
should
your
do-
hat, dude. Take off your hat if you're gonna do the national anthem. Like, just take off your hat. That's
I
whatever.
know.
After that, fine.
The heavy breathing part just got to me, but also I want him to sing both the U.S. and Canadian anthems here. Maybe
Who was the
Golden Knights
Olympian? Was it Carl Lewis that did it?
Carl
And-
Lewis, yeah, Carl
and
Lewis.
like the players just cracking up. This was
Well, the players
maybe
were laughing last night too. I was
this
watching
was
it.
this was a very small step better than that. A very small step.
Coming up
step,
on tomorrow's
a
show.
minute step.
We will have again our recap of the Montreal VGK game tonight. We will have 2 anthems. Is this the first time this season? Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Winnipeg. this year.
Winnipeg. Okay. Yeah, because every game's at home for VGK.
I hope I make it for puck drop. I got to coach a practice. I'll be leaving Henderson about like 5:45. And the garage really fast, guys. Listen, if you guys park in the Aria garage, I don't know if this is like an everydayer type thing, or if Saturday was just a special blend of absolute filth. But the garage on Friday afternoon, you couldn't get out the Aria event garage. You couldn't get out on the one entrance and exit that faces T-Mobile directly. They forced everybody onto Sinatra, which is a cluster in itself, especially at 6 o'clock rush hour. We sat in the car for 15 minutes, me and my family, because I left right after the interviews and stuff. And we got back out of the car and went and had an overpriced $50 dinner at that chicken place out front. So whatever's going on, just like that, how does that happen? Like, how did that area? Really quick rant, and I know we're going long, and I'm sorry, but you have that in the pedestrian area, the crosswalk. That's where I'm looking for, right where all the people go across from the Aria event garage into Toshiba Plaza. It's a little dangerous there. The people that are crossing, they don't communicate very well. And I'm not knocking the people that are physically doing the job out there, but they are not trained properly to run a crosswalk. And you see the pedestrians walking, but cars coming, and it doesn't help that these taxi and Uber drivers are giving these guys the finger while they're out there doing the job and being impatient and all that. So, just please, whether it's Metro or MGM or T-Mobile, whoever is responsible for keeping everyone safe in that area and getting everyone out, just put some time and effort into that, because it's a little dangerous out there, and there should not be an exit closed when a Golden Knights game is getting out. Like, I don't understand that.
WTM, what the Monday? What the Monday?
That's a positive. That's hopefully for the benefit of all of us enjoying these games.
We appreciate everyone tuning in, especially our everydayers. Thanks to Chris for his patience today as well. And again, Friday, WTF, What the Friday. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, at Locked On Golden Knights. From my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.